Good morning, ANC, and happy Pride Month. If you don't know me, my name is Melinda Tabb, and I am the pastor of family ministries here. And while I'm not a member of the queer community, I'm a big ally, and that's all thanks to my dad. I grew up in very conservative, independent Baptist spaces with a dad who held different pastoral positions in those spaces. At a young age, I noticed that my dad was a different person at home than he was at church. And in my adulthood, I would learn why that was. See, my dad grew up in a ministry family too. His dad was a Baptist preacher and a church planter, and what came with those roles was the expectation of a perfect family where everyone fit inside the box, no questions asked. Long story short, my dad knew from a young age that he was gay, and he did all he could to push it away. He married my mom, went to Bible school, had a couple of kids, worked in ministry. But guess what? You can't hide your true self forever. The reason that my dad wasn't able to be who I know he wanted to be at home is because he was in such turmoil internally, constantly fighting a battle with himself about who he was. Eventually, when I was in high school, my dad left the ministry and my parents divorced. And it was only a matter of time before my dad came out, and my world felt like it had been turned upside down. In my ultra-conservative upbringing, being gay was like the worst sin, and I wanted nothing to do with my dad, and we didn't have much of a relationship for a while. Until my heart began to soften. We started meeting somewhat regularly, and eventually I began to ask questions. Little by little, I began to get to know my dad. He shared things with me that broke my heart, and compassion and empathy began to replace bitterness and judgment. After close to 15 years of listening, understanding, and forgiveness on both sides, I became a fully affirming and celebratory ally of the LGBTQIA+ community. Because of the influence that my dad has had on my life, I have been able to experience who or what God really is, which is the presence of love and goodness in this world. And love will always want people to be who they were born to be true to themselves, which is what it means to be holy.